Imagine that you have set out on an endless journey with the earth's soil beneath your feet, the blue sky above your head, and countless paths ahead that will take you somewhere. But what if you never stop? What if you keep moving continuously, crossing continents, touching the shores of oceans, in search of just one question? Where does the earth end? Is there a wall or a chasm that will stop you, or will your journey never end? For us, this question is just imagination, but it is not only the question of a traveler or our imagination. It is the question of every person who wants to explore the boundaries of this blue planet. And today, we are about to embark on such a mysterious journey where, touching the edges of the earth, we will find that the end is just an illusion, but the mystery behind it is infinite. So let's begin this fascinating and mysterious journey. The Earth is a spherical planet, a massive ball that keeps spinning in space. If you set out to travel on the Earth by foot or by vehicle, then theoretically, there is no end to it. Of course, you could walk from its North Pole to South Pole, but in reality, there are many places on the surface of the Earth that give us the feeling of reaching the end of the world. It seems as if everything beyond has ended and your path has reached the very edge of infinity. High mountains, deep valleys, or the edges of the oceans. When you reach the edges of continents, it feels as if the world has come to a standstill there. But this is not the end. Rather, it is the beginning at the edge of a new journey. Still, we humans, our imaginations have given certain places the label of being at the edge of the earth. These places are geographically at the ends of the earth where roads or paths come to an abrupt end. And these places truly make us feel like we are in a different world. There are places, a road that will take you to such a world if you start walking in the northern direction. Imagine you are in the snowy regions of Norway. The roads are narrow, darkness surrounds you. It's winter in Antarctica, where the air is so cold that even your breath freezes. As you keep walking, you will eventually reach a road that is the northernmost road in Europe. A69, this 129-kilometer-long road starts from Oldefjord and goes all the way to Nordkapp. According to the BBC, this is the world's northernmost highway, and when you reach here, it feels like you've reached the end of the earth. There are 5 tunnels on the road, cutting through the mountains, and finally, it ends at a point located at 71 degrees north latitude. You can see the Barents Sea from here, which is in Europe? No. Nord, which is a part of the Arctic Ocean. According to NASA imagery, here icy cliffs descend into the seas. But further north, Greenland and Iceland are also present. But even then, while driving on the Midnight Sun Highway in winter, you have to keep your speed low because the winds here are very strong. Scientists have set up several stations here to study the magnetic field because being close to the North Pole, the compass starts behaving strangely here. For its study, several stations have been set up here. Traveling on Highway E69 is a cinematic experience. Imagine you are driving with the Aurora Borealis dancing beside you. The situation during the day is such that it will remain night for months. And if you look far, you see yourself dwarfed by the vastness of the endless ocean. Everything seems small, but when you reach the end, you realize that it's not the end, but rather a new beginning. If you go further by boat, a whole new world of Antarctica opens up. This place often attracts people because it feels as if the Earth itself is calling you. In reality, there may not be a final edge of the Earth, but Highway E69 definitely gives us a sense of the boundaries of the world. Similarly, at the southern tip of America, in Argentina, lies the city of Ushuaia. This is the southernmost city in the world at 54 degrees south latitude. When you reach here, it feels as if you are standing at the edge of the earth. The city's signboard says, Fin del Mundo, which means end of the world. Ushuaia is actually the capital of the Tierra del Fuego province, from where journeys to Antarctica begin. Here, there are forests, mountains as big as the Himalayas, and the Beagle Channel which separates the sea. In Ushuaia, if you keep walking, the roads eventually end at the seashore. From here, Magellan. Here, the Earth's plasma activity is quite high because the ozone layer near the South Pole is very thin. In this city, there is a train called the End of the World Train, which passes through the forest and takes you to the end. But in reality, this is not the end. Beyond this is Antarctica, where sheets of ice stretch to the infinite horizon. Scientists also study climate change here because the Southern Ocean affects global warming. These places force us to look beyond our small world. Unlike Highway E69, the weather here is a mix of heat and cold, but both places create the illusion of the end of the Earth. Now, let's measure the upper end of the Earth. Of course, it's not possible to walk there, so we'll have to fly. After all, where is the upper end of the Earth? Is it the troposphere? Is it the atmosphere? According to NASA and ESA, the Earth's atmosphere has several layers, starting from about 10 to 15 kilometers up, then the stratosphere, where the ozone layer is, which blocks dangerous UV radiation coming from space. But the real end is the Kármán line, which is an international standard at an altitude of 100 kilometers from the Earth's surface. Here, the atmosphere becomes so thin that even airplanes cannot fly. To stay in orbit, the velocity needs to be 7.8 kilometers per second. According to the Fédération Aéronautique Internationale, this is considered the beginning of space, and you can say that this is where the Earth ends. But this end is something you can't actually see with your eyes. In reality, it's not a physical boundary that you can gaze at. As you go higher, first you'll see the atmosphere, then the blue sky will become deeper, darker, and infinite. Beyond this end of the Earth is the vacuum of space, where satellites orbit, and the International Space Station also orbits above this altitude. Earth's atmosphere protects the Earth from space, but isn't it quite a coincidence that the real end of the Earth, which we consider, is something we can't see, and the edges of the Earth that we see while living here are actually just an illusion? But the real end of the Earth, the heliosphere, which is a large bubble surrounded by the sun's hot solar wind, is considered the end of the solar system. Voyager 1 crossed this boundary in 2012 and entered interstellar space. So this was the end of our solar system. But there are many different opinions about this as well. But for Earth, we usually consider the Kármán line as the final edge of the planet, because even after this, Earth's atmosphere doesn't actually end. Its real edge above its surface is the exosphere, which extends up to about 10,000 kilometers above the surface, but it is very thin. Beyond this is the magnetosphere, which deflects the solar wind. If we go even higher, there are the Van Allen radiation belts, where charged particles are trapped and then its gravity keeps us bound for a long distance. In the future, if we travel to Mars, the Earth will appear as a tiny dot from afar. But even there, Earth's gravity can still be detected. All this makes us wonder, where does it actually end? Maybe its end lies in our imagination. On a cold night in 1609, Galileo Galilei stand on their terrace in a small town in Italy. In his hand is a new telescope, which is truly nothing short of a miracle for the world of that time. And as soon as he turned that telescope towards the sky, his eyes saw something that changed human history forever. Among the shining stars, he saw the 4 moons of Jupiter, a world beyond Earth that had never been seen with the naked eye. In that moment, didn't Galileo realize how mysterious our sky truly is? That it never reveals its secrets to us. But today, hundreds of years later, when we look at the same sky, one question keeps coming to our minds. If Galileo could see the planets with his simple telescope, then why can't we see the other planets from Earth with our naked eyes? The stars in the sky, which are light years away from us, appear to shine to us. But where do planets like Jupiter, Mars, and Saturn hide, which are in our own solar system? Is the sky deceiving us, or is the way we see things itself wrong? So let's embark on a journey today to solve this mystery. First of all, it's important to understand that our sky is not an ordinary thing, nor is it transparent like a car's windshield. During the day, it's actually a vast, dynamic, and complex cosmic stage where things work according to their own rules. In the morning, during the day, and in the evening, the sky looks like a canvas, as if nature has poured colors all over it. But as soon as night falls, it becomes as clear as glass and allows us to see the universe through it. We can see stars in the hundreds of thousands, but the planets seem to disappear somewhere. But the reason for this is not the sky, but rather the limitations of our eyes and the nature of the planets. We will talk about the sky in a little while, but you all must know that unlike stars, planets do not shine on their own. Stars produce light because of the nuclear reactions happening inside them, like our sun. But planets only reflect the light of the sun. That's why they appear dimmer than stars. So, since they shine less, they are also not easily visible. But wait, that's not the whole story. If that were the case, then we should have been able to see some planets easily, like Mars, which is famous for its red color. So what's the real obstacle then? Look, everything in the universe is in its place, and this place is determined by distance. Our Earth is just a small part of the solar system, and the other planets revolve around the sun in different orbits. For example, Mars, which is our neighbor in the solar system, is on average about 225 million kilometers away from Earth. But this distance is not exactly fixed either. When Earth and Mars are on the same side of the sun, Mars is closest to our Earth. Similarly, outer planets like Jupiter and Saturn are even farther from us. The average distance of the Jupiter planet from Earth is 778 million kilometers, and the distance of Saturn is 1.427 billion kilometers. And at such a distance, they appear very small. Like a tiny point of light which we can't easily see. But is distance the only reason we can't see the planets? Absolutely not. If that were the case, we would never be able to see the planets. The truth is, under certain special conditions, we can see the planets. When and how to observe the planets? Do you know that some planets like Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn can be seen with the naked eye? Yes, absolutely. You might not believe it, but humans have been observing these 5 planets without any telescopes since ancient times. Before the invention of telescopes and binoculars, people in ancient times knew that Mars is red in color. But it's important to have the right time and the right place to see them. For example, Venus, which we call the evening star or the morning star, appears in the west after sunset or in the east before sunrise. It is so bright that it can be seen easily, provided the sky is completely clear and you are looking in the right direction. Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn are also visible only at night. The brightness is especially noticeable when they are close to the Earth, but Mercury is the hardest to see because it is very close to the sun and often gets hidden. But if that's the case, then why can't we always see them? The answer lies in our environment and our habits. It's no secret that today, by spreading pollution everywhere on this earth, we have brought it to the brink of destruction. Nowadays, most people live in cities. The glitter of cities, the lights on the roads, and the illumination of buildings have, in a way, polluted the sky. And we call this light pollution. Yes, this is also a kind of pollution. This pollution mars the sky's natural beauty. This pollution takes away the natural beauty of the sky. People living in cities hardly ever get to see a sky full of stars. Seeing planets is even more difficult. There's no denying that they do see a hazy sky and some stars. But is it really that clear? Because of light pollution, less bright objects like planets become invisible to our eyes. If you go to a village or a hilly area where there is less artificial light, you can see planets along with stars in the sky. For example, Jupiter and Saturn look like shining stars at night because they also reflect the sunlight. They do not twinkle like stars, and their colors also make them different from stars. Because planets are not as far from us as stars are, we can also see the glow of their colors, like the red color of Mars and the light yellow color of Jupiter, which breaks the rays of the sun. Our atmosphere is also a big reason why we can't easily see the planets, but this same atmosphere also helps us see the planets at night. The dust, moisture, and other particles present in the atmosphere further weaken the reflected sunlight coming from the planets. Apart from this, if the weather is bad, if it's cloudy, or if there's fog in the air, it becomes even more difficult to see the planets. Because of the atmosphere, the light from the stars that shine less gets scattered in the atmosphere itself. It doesn't even reach our eyes. That's why we see fewer stars. We can see planets through the atmosphere, but for that, we have to go to the right place. Far from the hustle and bustle of your city, where there is no light pollution and no air pollution. From there, you will be able to see even the faint light of the planets. The atmosphere is the main reason why we can barely see things that are not very bright. Or you could say that the atmosphere is the main reason why we are only able to see very bright things. Planets don't stay in one place. Their position relative to the sun constantly changes. They revolve around in their orbits, and the Earth is also moving in its orbit, which determines which part of the sky it is in. This is called conjunction. But sometimes the planets are so close to the sun, but when they are near the Earth, their brightness gets overshadowed by the sun's light. We call this conjunction. At such times, it is almost impossible to see the planets, but when they are closer to Earth, their brightness increases even more and it becomes easier to see them. In ancient times, our ancestors observed the planets without any telescopes and also understood their movements. In Indian astrology, the planets were worshipped as the 9 planets or Navagraha. We observed Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn with the naked eye and were able to differentiate them from the stars. Because they kept changing their positions over time, people in ancient times also called them wandering stars. This connects us to the curiosity of that ancient human civilization when humans first looked up at the sky. So if you also want to see the planets, you will have to follow some basic steps. The best time to observe the planets is after sunset or before sunrise, especially to observe Venus, which is visible in the morning and evening. Number 2, avoid light pollution and air pollution. Go to a dark place away from cities. Mountains, villages, or deserts are the best for astro camping. Number 3, Understand the sky. Use star charts or apps like Stellarium or Sky Safari to point out the positions of different planets in the sky. Number 4. Be patient. It takes time and patience to observe planets. Stars twinkle while the brightness of planets remains steady, and you'll have to put in quite a bit of effort to differentiate a planet from among so many stars. That's why it's important to understand the difference between planets and stars. Clouds or fog obstruct the view of planets. To see the planets, choose a clear night or clear sky and you will definitely be able to see the planets. Earth is just a small part of the solar system, yet it links us to the universe's mysteries. We no longer sleep under the open sky as before, but if we pause, the reason we can't see the planets isn't just distance, light pollution, or the atmosphere. If we look at the night sky, we might see the same brightness that Galileo saw hundreds of years ago. Every planet, whether it's Mars, Jupiter, or Saturn, tells a story. Each one tries to reveal the deep mysteries of this universe to us in its own language. So next time you go outside at night, be sure to look up at the sky. Maybe a planet will call you with its brightness, and you will become a part of that mysterious world that is beyond our Earth. When we look at the sky, we don't just see stars or planets. We also see that infinite possibility, which reminds us that we are a small but important part of this universe. On August 26, 1883, when Indonesia's Krakatau volcano unleashed its inner fire, its roar was heard up to about 5,000 kilometers away. The waves of the sea rose up to 40 meters high, causing destruction, and more than 36,000 people lost their lives in that devastation. But was that eruption just something happening at the volcano's surface? Or was its source hidden deep within the mysteries of our Earth's core? Today, we take you on a journey where science and mystery collide with each other. This is the story of the Earth's core, that unseen, unknown center whose every activity has amazed scientists. So get ready, because today we are about to dive into the deepest mysteries of the Earth. The Earth's core is an unknown world. Our Earth, on which we have been living for centuries, where we breathe and carry out all kinds of activities around the world. It is not just a ball of soil, rocks, and oceans. Beneath its surface, thousands of kilometers deep, there is a hidden world that no human has ever seen. The Earth's core. The center of our planet not only makes Earth what it is, but it is also the key to all its mysteries. But what is this core? Scientists divide it into two parts, the outer core and the inner core. Speaking of the outer core, it is like a liquid made of molten iron and nickel. Core. But the real question is, why is it so mysterious? Our technology took us to the moon. Humans have only dug as deep as 12.3 kilometers, but reaching the core would require going 6,371 kilometers. This is the Kola Super Deep Borehole, which is only 12.3 kilometers deep, the deepest we have ever reached. And an even bigger question is, do we really know as much about the core as we think we do? Earth's magnetic field is an unsolved mystery. Did you know that right now, as you are watching all this, an invisible shield is protecting you and this planet from cosmic radiation and solar wind? This is Earth's magnetic field, and amazingly, its source is the molten iron flowing in the Earth's outer core. Scientists call it the geodynamo. Its process is so complicated that even supercomputers struggle to explain it. But there's a big mystery here. This magnetic field is not always stable. It keeps changing. It gets weaker and sometimes even completely reverses. Yes, you heard that right. Every few 100,000 years, Earth's magnetic field flips its north and south poles. The last time this happened was about 780,000 years ago. But the question is, why does this happen? And when it does, what kind of turmoil occurs in the outer core? Some scientists think this reversal occurs when liquid ion streams in the core become unstable, but the exact cause remains unknown. Other questions remain as well. If this happens again, will our satellites and our lives be able to withstand this change? Or will the world have to suffer because of it? Where all the old compasses would have become useless. The mystery of the inner core, a solid ball of fire. So now let's go even deeper. After crossing the outer core, we will reach the Earth's inner core, a solid sphere that is burning at a temperature of more than 5,000 degrees Celsius. It is so hot that if it were on the surface, it would even melt steel. But under the Earth, in this region, the pressure is so high that even at such high temperatures, the sphere of iron and nickel. But do you know that understanding this inner core is not as easy as it seems? Some recent seismic studies have made some very surprising revelations. It's not just a simple sphere. There could be even smaller structures inside it, which some scientists call the core within the core. Moreover, this inner core also rotates, but at a slightly different speed than the Earth's surface. Some scientists call this superrotation. Some believe that this rotation makes the magnetic field even more complex. Scientists are currently puzzled that, when it comes to the inner core, we have more questions than answers. Some basic questions themselves are nothing less than a mystery to us. For example, what exactly is this superrotation? And if the speed of the inner core's rotation changes, could it affect the Earth's surface? Could volcanic eruptions or other natural disasters be influenced by this? We are unlikely to find answers to these questions in the near future. The birth of the core is an ancient mystery. Now, let's go back in time for a moment, about 4.5 billion years ago. When our Earth was born, scientists believed that the Earth's core began to form in layers at that time. Heavy elements like iron and nickel were drawn toward the center and the core was formed. However, not everyone agrees on this point either. Some scientists believe that the core was formed after a massive collision which gave birth to the Earth and the Moon. This is called the giant impact hypothesis. But the question here is how the core was formed so precisely as it maintains a perfect balance on Earth. And was the core always like this? Recent studies have revealed that the inner core may not be as old as we think. Some scientists believe that it could be only 1 billion years old. So does this mean that the Earth's core is changing over time? And if so, what will its future be? The core and humanity, an unknown threat. The Earth's core is not just a mystery for scientists, it is also connected to our existence. The magnetic field, which is created because of the core, protects us from solar radiation. In some areas, like the South Atlantic anomaly, it is already unusually weak. Is this the beginning of a new geomagnetic reversal? And if so, is it a warning sign for our future? Here, it's not just about the magnetic field. The activities in the Earth's core always carry the fear that any major change in the core could cause devastating earthquakes on the Earth's surface. The limits of science and the search for the future. Today, we have tools like seismic wave data, supercomputers, and satellites that can help us understand the mysteries of the core. But even then, we have only managed to scratch the surface. reaching the core is still impossible today? Looking to the future, scientists believe that the immense energy present in the Earth's core could power us for centuries. Because of this, we are trying to reach the Earth's core, but the path to get there is still not going to be easy. Will we ever be able to develop technology that takes us closer to the core, or will we have to rely only on assumptions and models? Some scientists believe that to understand the mysteries of the core, we will have to look towards space. Studying the cores of other planets, like Mars and Mercury, can provide us with new information about Earth's core. But the question is, will humanity ever see the day when we have solved all the mysteries of the core? Or will this mystery of our Earth remain buried forever and continue to challenge us forever? The test is also for our human civilization. How much can we truly understand the universe that gave us life? Friends, today we explored a world that lies hidden beneath our very feet, yet we remain completely unaware of it. The Earth's core is that fiery sphere, that mysterious center, which not only keeps our planet alive, but also keeps our curiosity ignited. Every new discovery brings us closer to it, but at the same time, it raises new questions. Will we ever be able to fully understand these mysteries, or will the Earth's core always remain an unsolved puzzle? Friends, how did you like this journey? What are your thoughts about it? Do let us know in the comments section. If you like this video, be sure to like it and share it with your friends. For more such videos, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Friends, we'll meet again soon with another new informative video. Until then, stay curious, be happy, and goodbye.